Hi everybody, my name is Ron Cantor and you're watching Out of Zion on God TV. And we're still here in beautiful Odessa, Ukraine. Now it's a really beautiful city today, but in 1998, when we lived here, we faced some very serious challenges. Now to be clear, for some of you they might not be challenges at all, but from where we were coming, from America, living a privileged lifestyle, it was really hard. And I learned 3 powerful lessons, and we're on lesson number 2 today. And that is this: we embrace death so that others can embrace life. Now, if we look in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, here's what Paul the missionary wrote. We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. Now listen to this part. We always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body. For we who are alive are always being given over to death for Jesus' sake, so that his life may be revealed in our mortal body. So then death is at work in us, but life is at work in you. Now I'm going to be honest with you, for years I never understood what is he talking about. Death is working and life is, I didn't understand it until I moved here as a missionary. And as I went through some of the things that we went through, and I mentioned them in previous episodes, fleas, mafia, etc., chased by wild dogs. As we went through those things, that was like embracing death. We embraced death in order to get life to the people that we were trying to reach. Now, I didn't realize it at the moment, but with each thing that we suffered for Yeshua. Now I want to be clear, I don't like to suffer, I don't look to suffer, but in order to get the good news of Yeshua to other people, there were things that we did suffer. And what I couldn't see with my natural eyes is that as we embraced that challenge, the anointing grew inside of us. That's what Paul is saying here. He's saying, as I embrace death, to get the life of Yeshua to other people, the life of God was revealed in us, in our preaching, in signs, in wonders, in miracles. The more that we embraced suffering for the sake of the gospel, the more we saw the power of God. Now here's another verse that I had a hard time understanding before I moved here. Paul says in Colossians 1:24, now I rejoice in what was suffered for you, and I fill up in my flesh what is still lacking in regards to Messiah's afflictions, for the sake of his body, which is his congregation. Now that's kind of strange. What could be lacking in the suffering of Yeshua, in the afflictions of Yeshua? Wasn't it finished on the cross? Well, of course it was. But the thing that Paul is talking about that was lacking is that when we ourselves, believers in Yeshua, embrace suffering, that we say yes, not just to suffer for suffering's sake, but in order to reach people, in order to get the good news of Yeshua to other people. We fill up the sufferings of Yeshua for the sake of his body. And what is amazing is that we didn't bear a whole lot of fruit while we were here and while we were suffering, but literally in the last week that we were here, we bore more fruit than we did the entire year that we were here. We birthed a congregation in a city called Berdichev that is still going strong today. But we would not have been able to do that had we not been through everything that we went through for the first year. So friends, if you have to embrace suffering in order to get the good news to other people, do so knowing that you're identifying with Paul and of course with Yeshua himself.